I hold the record at Reading FC for, for the most heavily disciplined player.
You were part of David Beckham's very, very small internal management team.
But it's just insane. It's Jerry Maguire. It's the Wolf of Wall Street. It's James Bond. A day later, Ronaldo Nazario calls up, and I got a plane full of Victoria's Secret models, and I'm on the tarmac with a player.
Okay.
There's 5 porn stars flying in from Los Angeles. But I remember these words. He said, "You got to really be careful, kid, because someone like you, excessive compulsive
0
with
to
football,
100.
with this, with that, this could kill you."
The following video contains content depicting addiction and drug use which may be triggering for some. Born Offside Show does not condone the use of illicit substances in any way. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to a very special edition of Born Offside. I love our midweek specials because I've not only made 1 sub, there's 2 subs now. Dani joins us back on the pod. Always great to have you on, bringing the energy. La Liga jersey for me because we have the first Socceroo to play in top flight in Spain. Andy Bernal joins us on the couch. Andy, I mean, you should be a household name, but we have a very young generation that watch the pod. There might be some people, they're in store for a massive story, mate. But before we talk about your career, professional footballer, Socceroo, part of David Beckham's management team, right now, what's your role at the Mariners?
Well, I'm one of Nick Montgomery's lieutenants. He, when I'll tell you how the whole Central Coast Mariners thing came about. About a year and a half ago, I was sat with a friend of mine, Richard Peel, in Canberra. Yeah. And, but we've only been friends for a year and a half. And he called me up for some advice. And within a week, I'd convinced him to buy an A-League club.
Right.
Wow. And he'd brought Anytime Fitness to Australia. Yeah. He's the main guy for that. And and we spoke to a few people. I called Danny Townsend. And shortly after, we took over at the Mariners. And he took me in. And I met Nick Montgomery, and wonderful man, wonderful manager.
What a job he's doing.
Who I believe will one day manage in the English Premiership or Liga or Serie A. He's of that ilk,
right?
And I've been around Del Bosque. I've been around, Alex Ferguson. I've been all around and played against those managers. I've been under some fantastic managers, and
he's right up there.
Nick's of that ilk, so he'll be there one day. And I met him, and he wanted me as one of his lieutenants.
And is your title, like, everyone throws around like chief vibes? Like, what do you do at the Mariners? Are you kind of like guidance for these young men?
Well, one of the official roles is head of athletic development. Okay. So I sit in between Nick and our strength conditioning department,
right? And
I help deliver a lot of the strength components to our athletes and make sure that whoever plays for the Central Coast Mariners is a good athlete.
Right.
And part of that role is to, eradicate weak athletes.
Only good eggs.
Yeah, so, mentally and physically, if you're not a good athlete, you're not going to play for us. And I grab individuals as well within that and mentor them, on a football, on a physiological kind of level. Yeah. And then once I became kind of part of that process, the vibe manager thing came up, and Monty still claims, and I know it is. It's I'm the first vibe manager in world football.
You've had some good titles. Vibe manager's got to be up there.
Yeah, and then the Socceroos copied it and put Martin Boyle in as vibe manager But
what's he saying?
Look, the vibe manager is just making sure things are pretty cool around the place, and good vibes.
Yeah, that's it.
If opponents want to bring bad vibes, then bad vibes it is. And if you want to bring bad vibes to when you play against us, we're going to give you bad vibes plus interest.
100%. I love that. Because you were considered a bit of a brute as a player as well. You never shied away from a challenge. You had to be at that time, yeah?
Oh, look, I've back in 1983, 84, I was Australian youth team captain, youngest ever Ollie captain, and, not a lot of people know that, I don't think we do our history well in Australia. So, but I could play football. Yeah. For those out there now that see Sergio Ramos playing and stuff, that was kind of my kind of style.
Yeah. Plenty of cards?
Oh, I hold the record at Reading FC for for the most heavily disciplined player. Yeah, so I think it was in 7 seasons. Was 7 reds and 26 yellows.
Yes.
So you're one of us. We're both centre halves, and like we love that.
Yeah, so
and
it's
I grew up watching Vidic. So I'm like,
you can't touch anyone these days.
Nah.
How would you have gone with VAR, mate?
I just no.
You couldn't have played with VAR.
No, I'd be playing rugby league.
Yeah.
I would just sort of like that was my childhood dream was to play rugby league for Australia.
Yeah.
And so no, but you look at the boys' shin pads these days, and they're like this. You can't touch anybody, so that kind of real hard man element has gone today. You know, it went with with a lot of us, with Roy Keane and Vinnie Jones and all these people who I mention in my book as well. And but it's a different type of game now.
Yeah, well, I'm going to take that opportunity because I've got the book next to me, mate. Riding Shotgun. An autobiography of the original Wizard of Oz.
That's it. The original Wizard of Oz came about after one of my a game playing for Reading. I think it was a cup match against Southampton or Man United.
Yeah.
The local paper in England. Said,
The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz.
People think Harry Kuehl was the original Wizard of Oz.
And so no, it was Andy.
No, it was Andy. It was Andy.
It was Andy, and but there's and then Tommy Rogic, who I took to Celtic, was another Wizard of Oz. So there's been a few of us, so I'm just
the original.
Yeah, I'm the original. I'm the first, and sometimes it's not even egotistical. It is what it is. I was the first, so what?
Yeah, 100%.
Claim it. 100%.
You got to claim it.
Yeah.
Me and Andy actually go way back. When you messaged me about your book, right? You messaged me on Facebook at the time about your book, right? Saying that you were about to release it. And of course, I was like, send me a copy. We've had that here since day one. But I scrolled up on our messages on Facebook. We spoke in 2012. You know that?
I think I remember that conversation between us. Was I trying to recruit you?
Yeah. You messaged me to recruit me in 2012. I was very young, though. I was at a point where I wasn't sure what I wanted to do.
How old were you at the time?
I was 15. I was 15. I wasn't 16 yet. I was 15, and you messaged me.
So I was chasing Claudes.
Yeah,
so my first client was Tim Cahill.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the first ever Australian.
You started up there.
First ever Australian I represented, and then that was part of the whole Beckham thing, and
he ended up with
Claudes was mate, you're in the mix.
Yeah, that's it. That's my claim.
Yeah.
That's my claim. But we have a lot of mutual friends, and even guys like Kuzi, Steve Kuzmanowski always said that your training was just the most big. I remember asking them at the time that you messaged me, and you were putting them through boxing training camps and stuff, because you were notorious for training players
no
to
mercy.
be athletes.
Yeah, well, it's part of, you become a world-class player / athlete.
Yeah.
Or we eradicate you, and back to the role at the Mariners. We want to create good athletes. We want to play a good style of football, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We've had a marvellous season. To finish second with the youngest team in the A-League, with the lowest budget. We're on a budget 2, 3, 4 times less than everybody else in that league, and we give young kids an opportunity. We give them wings. We empower them, and that's a beautiful thing. I think for too many years, we've had fraud marquees. We've had too many older brigade kind of going around and recycled old players.
Yep.
And we need to give our young kids in this country opportunity. I've watched the A-League. I'm back in it now, and some good kids around.
Yeah. Is the incentive there to grow players? I feel like if a Mariners existed in Spain, they'd be making millions and millions of dollars a year because you'd be selling off players. What is the incentive? Can you sell players? Can you make money like that?
Well, for us, we sold Garang Quoll and Kai Rolls and a few of them in the last few years.
Yeah.
But the market that you play in, the area that you play in, kind of dictates that. For example, we could have a kid at the Mariners that's the equal of a kid at Benfica or Real Madrid, for example, at age 15, 16. And just because that kid is in that marketplace, you give a 15, 16-year-old kid a debut at Benfica, you've already put a value on that kid of maybe 10 million euros.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, that same kid in Australia, $300,000 or something like that. You know
Not
what I mean?
even,
So it's all dictated by, at times, not the quality of the kid, but the market that you're in. That's why clubs like Benfica, are bringing in 100, 200 million euros a year on transfers. So, the idea for us and the smart thing for us is to keep, trying to produce those good kids, give them opportunity in our first team. And if you do flip them into Europe, then have sell-on clauses that can then bring you a bigger payday.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is what it is. But for us, if we can turn around and have a little payday at the end of every season, but have been able, but more importantly, if we've been able to give 2 16, 17, 18-year-olds or whatever an opportunity to play A-League, to become Olyroos, to become Socceroos, then that's how this nation becomes a better football nation.
Yeah. Danny, you grew up in the NPL system as well. So Danny was an NPL footballer as well.
Yep.
So played for a lot of these member federation clubs. You're excited about the second division?
Yes.
You feel as though it's time Australia's ready for a second division?
Yeah, the football in Australia has been so backwards for so long that it needs to have something happen.
It needs something to change?
Yeah, in every league in the world, you've got promotion, relegation, pretty much all of them. And for our country to not have it and only start to have it now, we're already so many paces behind. But yes, it's positive to see that progression.
Can you see it happening, realistically? You're right in there. You can see how difficult it is to run an A-League club, the budgets, the lack of funds, which is everything that we need cash for these games to survive. Can we handle a second division?
Look, I think there's some wonderful NPL clubs out there.
Yeah.
I played for Sydney Olympic. Marconi, Sydney United, South Melbourne, Heidelberg.
all of
we
them.
can go on. Yeah, there's some fantastic clubs with a lot of history behind them. Can they find 15, 20, 30 million dollars to be an A-League club? Can they find 20, 25 million dollars to buy a franchise license?
That's the question.
So before you even start, or before, for a new startup club, for example, before you even, kick off or get someone through a turnstile, if you've got to pay, say, $25 million for a license, then put on another 20 for, the running costs of a club. That's $40-45 million before you even have someone through a turnstile.
Yep.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah.
You
convinced one guy to buy Mariners in a week.
I did.
So we need to just send you out.
That's
Just send you out to just
Go
talk
door
to
knocking.
billionaires.
I'll go to Saudi Arabia and
Please.
Qatar for a week and come back with a plane full of cash. Yes, so
I wouldn't put it past
it can be done.
It
Yes.
can be done.
So that's one kind of problem.
Element to it,
But it can be solved if you have the right connects. For me, it's the relegation one. The promotion one is fantastic. The whole concept of it is a necessity, a real necessity to kind of produce better quality football and better players. With the franchise type system now in the A-League, the problem is if you go and acquire a license for $20-25 million, whatever they want to put on it, right?
It guarantees that I can't get relegated as well, right? Of course.
Yeah,
Why would I buy a KFC?
So you're not
tomorrow
paying.
I can't sell chicken.
Yeah, but then what's going to happen if I get promoted and I haven't paid for a franchise and you have?
Exactly.
Then
Exactly.
Yeah, so the A-League, the teams that are in the A-League now, they'll go, well, how can Marconi just come up through a promotion system? Do they, if they get promoted, are they asked to find $25 million?
Yeah. If not, it's unfair.
Yeah, so then the B League will just be a B League that exists.
Unless it becomes so good that it surpasses the A League and
could.
becomes the new
A
League.
And it could.
Or they play in winter and we have football all year round. That's another
thing,
right?
But I'd like to see that whole assimilation.
Yeah, but it's tough.
But for me now, if I'm really on a football kind of, is the NPL now in each state not a B League in itself?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
It's just that it's not combined.
It needs to be televised.
It needs to be national.
It needs to be given. People need to know the games are on. That's what's lacking at the moment. You can't even watch a game. You got to stream it on.
So
on
for
YouTube.
me, it's you've got all the teams that would form a B League, but within their states.
There's enough good players. You think there's enough good players here in Australia to have 2 professional leagues?
No.
There you go. So the problem really starts a long way before that.
Yeah, because the other problem that you have in Australia is we're saturated with international football, and world-class football from England and Spain and Italy and Germany and whatever, so we're always getting this beamed into. So you go and watch Manchester City v Man United, for example. You watch that on Saturday night and then, you're going to go and pay, $30, $40, $50, $100 to take the kids and then whatever to watch, some NPL 2 league or NPL 1 league or something. When you've seen real high quality and then, so that's a problem as well.
I can imagine that a footballer, you start in the DMs. I mean, you didn't have the social media back in the day, but you start getting supermodels DMing you. Honestly, Shabs, you're getting exposed to this caliber of females. You know what I mean? Now you go to the local pub. You're like,
don't look at me.
No. That's how it works.
I've got a story on that one. That's for the Ronaldo Nazario part of this talk.
Oh, yeah? He would have had a few.
Let's dive in.
Mate.
Let's dive in.
You want to talk supermodels and DMs? Boom.
That is music to Claudiophobiana's
There
ears.
Are you kidding me? Let's go there right now. You were part of David Beckham's very, very small internal management team, right? And I heard it's an amazing story about how you got that gig and everything. What did you have to do for David Beckham every day?
I'll tell you first how it kind of happened.
Yeah.
So I'd finished football and a friend of mine got me an interview with David Beckham's manager, Tony Stevens.
Yep.
And she said, look, if he's a busy man, if you get more than 5 minutes with him, then you'll have done well. But if you get in, he can teach you to become an agent, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So put my suit on, tie, trained to London, ended up in Mayfair, walk in the door.
Monopoly, I've heard of it.
Kind of like the studio, right? But the sign kind of said Michael Jordan, David Beckham, Kobe Bryant. So they were the three names of this global company that represented all these wonderful athletes around the world. Yeah. And but I kind of done a little bit of homework and I thought there's no way I'm leaving this place without a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went upstairs to Tony and we got talking and. It was kind of back then. There weren't really emails or phones and this and that. So I'd had a photocopy of something that I'd got from my sister's house, and it was a world map, an atlas type thing. And in every country, I'd put the contact of who I could connect in that country with.
Right. Yeah.
Because somehow I wanted to impress this guy who looked after Beckham, Michael Owen, Gerrard, David Platt, Gary Lineker, from years back. Yeah. The whole lot. And so I said, what can I do to impress him? And if I'm going to be an agent, I think initially I'll probably be a scout for him, find players for him. So I had this map, and so I started with Argentina. I put Maradona, Colombia.
He's like, you're hired.
Valderrama.
Right.
So I went through every country, like in this map that I'd printed.
So you're saying you had all these people's numbers?
Yeah.
Or they were your contacts that?
No, I was saying I either had their numbers or I could make one phone call where I could acquire that number.
Wow.
Love it. That's powerful.
So I could make a phone call and then from that hook up with Diego Armando Maradona and he could tell me who the best young player in Argentina was.
Yeah. Or other information.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Any information, me and Diego kind of
had a good, would have been a dangerous duo.
Yeah.
On and off the pitch. On and off the pitch would have been a dangerous duo. What a man.
Madness.
Yeah.
For me, one of the, if not the greatest, but Messi's great too, and Ronaldo's great. Everyone's great in their own kind of. So the whole Beckham thing came like that, and then Tony gave me the job. As I was leaving, I said, "That's a fantastic picture of David Platt you've got up on your wall," because I knew that was his first client. Yeah. And he said, "Do you know David?" And I said, "Yeah, I do actually." Yeah. And he couldn't work it out. He's thinking when's Andy played against Arsenal? The Socceroos hadn't played England yet or something like that. And I just put him out of his misery. I said, Jakarta, I forget the actual year. Jakarta, I played for Asian 11 against Sampdoria when they were, and David Platt was playing, Hullert, Mancini and all of them. So I was marking Mancini and Platt. So that was it. And
tough day at the office. Yeah.
So that's how, and so he was kind of impressed with all of this. Yeah. And as I left the office, he said, listen, we're chasing this Australian kid, plays for Millwall. We can't get him. I've sent all my agents out there. We represent Beckham. The company represents Jordan. And this kid won't sign for us. He's represented by a couple of East Gangland gangsters from Millwall or something. I said, I'll get Tim Cahill for you. Yeah. He hadn't even told me the name. I said, I'll get Tim Cahill for you. He said, okay, you got 3 months to do it. And within 24 hours, I came back into the office with Tim and Lucas Neal.
Wow.
Brilliant.
And
That's it. You hired at that point.
Yeah, Lucas didn't sign, and Timmy did.
Yeah.
So that's how the SFX thing came about. And then, once they found out I spoke Spanish, etc., I'd played for Gijon and in Spain and stuff. The Spanish Connect was there. So Tony said, "So we're going to send you to Spain and Italy for 2 years, and you just got to travel around."
Tough job.
I said, "Can you say that again?" Explain. You just got to go to every city and every club.
Yeah.
And just tell them who you are. You work for SFX and build a relationship with every club. So, I'd go to Real Madrid. I'd meet up with Valdano and Butragueño and I'd sit there and we'd have coffee and the president and this and that. And then you'd say, look, we've got Beckham, we've got Gerrard, we've got this. So straight away, the client list opens the kind of...
the conversation.
So I'm walking around the Bernabeu with Valdano and it's like... Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Amazing.
The San Siro.
What's Beckham like on like a personal level?
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. He's a wonderful footballer. I say it in the book. Ronaldo Nazario said to us once. Out of every player in the world that's not Brazilian, we'd love to have David.
Wow.
So that's high praise. Yeah. A wonderful, a mastery with the ball. A set piece, just, the passing range, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. And the motor, run all day, run all day.
Freak.
Yeah, a freak of an athlete, a freak of a footballer. But a guy that's like all of us. Like one of the first occasion we had to catch the Real Madrid bus to go on tour.
Yeah.
He was shitting himself in the car.
Really?
We had to stop. Yeah, he vomited.
Wow.
You'd never think.
And he was like really worried about where he'd sit on the team bus.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, because it's like the team bus.
First day of school.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a hierarchy thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like, I said, you'll probably fucking sit up the end with where the toilet
big boys.
is.
Put him back there. Yeah. They don't give a shit who you are.
No. So he was the latest Galactico global signing.
Yeah.
Figo who moved from Barcelona. Zidane, Raul. Garcia. So they had them all. Roberto Carlos, the whole lot. So you're talking about big players. And he's going like, where do I sit on a bus?
You'd never think.
So I told him where he was going to sit, but I'd already the day before Steve McManaman was still there.
Yeah. Okay.
And he said, let's fuck him up. Yeah. So we organised that we'd get there early, and we'd leave one seat kind of free, but none of the other boys were there. So Beckham sits down like near the front, and McManaman says, "That's Raul's." Then he gets up and he sits there. Goes, "That's the dance." So he moves there. He goes, "Yeah, that's Roberto Carlos." He goes, "There, that's Ronaldo Nazario." So he's just like he's picking up his bag and he's going the next seat, and he ends up, and he calls me from the back of the bus. The curtain opens, and he goes, "I'm near the bloody toilet." Yeah, right next to the toilet. So little things like that.
you.
Yeah. But
Amazing.
Just a normal guy that. Like it was insanity. If you want to know the, one word for it, just an amazing time and moment in my life. Incredible, unbelievable at times, but just insane. It's Jerry Maguire. It's the Wolf of Wall Street. It's James Bond. It's every single day followed by hundreds of paparazzi. Motorbikes, cars, helicopters, everywhere you go. Every single day, it's relentless. There's no stop. It was a time and a moment in football time where, Perez was building the Galacticos. And she was a Spice Girl.
Yeah. How was Posh? Did you have much to do with Posh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Drive around a lot, and we
could have asked introduced to come out.
She'd
Scary Spice.
Baby Spice.
Baby Spice.
Sporty Spice is a bit more of you.
Baby Spice is for another day. It's for another show. So there were times where one of the first encounters with Posh was the Spice Girls. A lot of them were, or most of them. I think one was missing, but they came over and we wanted a party in the hotel. Brilliant. And Posh said, "Andy, you seem like the go-to guy."
You seem like a party boy.
Yeah, you seem like the go-to guy. We got the party in order, and I organised it through so we had when we in Madrid, we always had 2 SAS commandos with us. So they were former SAS commandos, yeah. And we had 2 guys. Delfin Fernandez ran a Cuban security team. And they were the top ones in Spain. And Delfin had been head of Fidel Castro's secret intelligence in Cuba for many years. And Delfin's father was a general when Fidel took over Cuba many years ago with Che Guevara and stuff. So I had all the stories and stuff on laptops. and the CIA had paid Delfin $5 million to defect, to move out of Cuba and sell secrets to the Americans. So he was now living in Spain, and I recruited him for us.
You're like, no better man for the job.
As you do. So we had Agent Otto. That was his nickname. Right. So he part of his role years before for Fidel was spying. He'd spied on DiCaprio, on Robert De Niro. He'd go in, and his speciality was taking out surveillance systems in hotels and bugging rooms.
Right.
So, but these guys were always, there was like, I'd go to the gym in the morning and Delfin would go, why are you going to the gym, man? You just got to carry one of these, man. So it's like, you go like that, just have an Uzi or whatever. Yeah, these guys.
Who needs weights?
The Cubans were always
strapped.
Strapped, packing, carrying, whatever. The SAS boys were more kind of like, they just kill you with their hands.
Yeah, they're freaks.
Yeah. But it was an operation. It was a military operation all
David
the time.
Beckham.
And
every single day. Before, so the 4 security team and myself, and the Cubans couldn't speak English, and the English couldn't speak Spanish.
So you're just in between.
So I became like a security guard as well. And every morning we do like a bomb check of the vehicles. Wow. We do a reconnaissance trip to the, at the time Real Madrid were training at La Ciudad Deportiva, which is near the Bernabeu. We do a route check and it was like a military mission. Every single day
just to get the training.
Was a military mission. Like you have no idea. Wow. And as soon as you left the hotel, they're on your ass. Yeah. I was in a car crash with Posh's sister.
Yeah, tell us a bit about that.
So I'd come out and it was for Romeo's birthday. Yeah. And, the world's press had come in, Romeo Beckham. I think he was 3 or something. And we come out of the garage, but the hotel guards, so fascinated with like the whole party that was there, forgot to block this one-way street coming out of this boutique hotel in Madrid. I've come out, bang, hit side on, and I've gone.
By paparazzi?
Man,
they're just relentless.
Side of the car, and I woke up after about 5 seconds.
So you were out?
Out, and I've come to about 5 seconds later, and all I can see is paparazzi all over the car, like.
They have like no
50, 100 of them just,
man.
But we would pick up their chatter on the SAS radios.
Yeah, you could see where they were going to be.
Wanting us to try and create a crash, to see if you could get a kill shot of Beckham.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, because a kill shot, it was worth millions and millions and millions.
Oh
So our first trip from the airport, when he actually signed for Real Madrid, we got followed from the airport to the medical centre, the hospital, where he did his first medical check. And I remember, calling my mum, and she goes, "What's it like?" And I said, I really think I'm going to die in a car crash like Princess Diana. I really, it was like, and it was just every day was like that.
You're like on edge 24/7.
Every single day, like, and there's you're going to training, and you got high-powered vehicles, so you're trying to like escape these guys. So you got Porsche GT3s, Ferraris, whatever, and you're 100, 180, 200 clicks to whatever, to try and out. And there's a guy on a motorbike next to you,
this guy's risking his life for a photo.
Yeah. So he's the guy riding the motorbike, that was steering it, and then there's a guy strapped to him, facing backwards with the camera, and the lens is hitting your car that's going 200 kilometres an hour.
Crazy, man.
Like every single day.
I'd be so tempted to just swerve him off.
So we had that crash, and then the SAS commandos came out of the garage and dragged me and Louise Adams back and the Porsche back into the garage. And anyway, we finally got to the Hard Rock for the party. So it was insanity that you would... and then, a day later, Ronaldo Nazario calls up, and I got a plane full of Victoria's Secret models, and you know,
and you were like,
You
vamos.
did
and
this
there's-
job for a while. This is sounding like day one, paparazzi following you. This sounded terrible. I knew there had to be perks to this job.
yeah, there's-
For you to stay in this job that long, there had to be perks. So tell me about Ronaldo's
Yes.
plane full of Victoria's Secret models.
I was,
This is what I'm talking about.
like it was non-stop. It was non-stop like this. Possibly, arguably, Mourinho reckons he's the greatest player he's ever. Yeah, he
At least
was.
as far as strikers go,
Yeah.
He was
Incredible.
such a good player,
Yeah.
and you know, and just carefree Brazilian. You know, he believed that he had to party. You know, and that's what we do in
But you
Brazil.
got to enjoy
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
So, you know, like the night of his 28th birthday party, he flew 100 teammates over. You know, Beckham and I arrive a little bit late to the party, and it's this place in La Moraleja, you know, it's the posh suburb of Madrid. And as soon as the gates open, you know, he's got guards in towers with Uzi machine guns. And,
Right.
you know,
So
you
no
go-
one's getting in. No paparazzi.
No one's getting in. You know,
Isn't
but,
it beautiful the days before social media as well?
oh,
Yep.
oh.
You
So,
could really have these parties.
so there was no like,
Yeah.
Smartphones.
no.
Yeah.
We go in, and as soon as you went through that steel gate and it opened up, it was like Ronaldo greets you, big kisses, because
Wow.
this house is yours. And it was just insanity. It's like a Victoria's Secret model parade. It's like
Claude is like, so does anyone need an agent?
yeah,
Because
it's like the 10, you know, not only the Real Madrid players, where's Dan, this Figo, the whole lot, Christian Vieri's there, you know,
Of course,
like,
Bobo Vieri was
yeah,
there.
Bobo
Of
Vieri,
course he was there.
yeah, Maldini, all these
yeah.
guys. So it's like, you know, the greatest of the greats,
All the
you know,
top
playing
shelf.
keepy ups and just insanity. It was like Carnival.
See, I believe in heaven.
love
Yeah.
that.
I believe in heaven. I believe in heaven, and I hope that
It looks
that's
like
what,
that.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
thinking.
what you're gonna-
That's what I'm thinking. When the gates open, it's Ronaldo.
Victoria's Secret model.
And
Just,
Keep me
would you
up,
like a drink with these big? Oh, this is yes. You
it's
know?
pretty cool, huh?
Yes, this sounds
It's like,
amazing,
yeah. So they're the perks.
Especially for you, you're not like these guys. Got to watch themselves because they're
No,
playing
you
football.
But
can
it-
party.
your
Well, actually, no.
post-career.
to
But
be
you know-
fair,
you know what was-
very important job.
You,
as
you,
well.
you know, but I was allowed in because it's even though you might be entrusted with Beckham,
Yeah,
if you got to win these guys over.
yeah.
You know, so yeah, I got on great with Ronaldo and everybody, and you know they knew I'd played to a decent level too.
Yeah.
And you know I was very protective of David, and I was more of a friend than his agent. It was
Yeah.
kind of I'd interpret stuff, whatever, you know. But I was like his right hand man, and
I
the
love
boys
that.
knew that I was protecting their teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, crazy times. You know, it's. I think Eminem sings a song, and I forget the one it is, but it's kind of like you can, you know, there's nothing you can't have.
Yeah.
Like we're in a situation where there's absolutely nothing you can't have. Like you're driving down the Castellana past the Bernabeu, and you know he says, "Do you think you could maybe make a phone call to Ferrari
That's a
and,
great, that's a
and-
great
and-
accent.
That
by the
is
way.
a good accent.
and see if we can get a car?"
Okay.
So I call Ferrari Madrid. Hola, soy Andy. Estoy con Beckham. Bang, 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 bang. Yep. What colour do you want?
That day it's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So
La
I go and pick
vida
it
loca,
up the next day,
Right.
and you know what's even crazier?
Yeah.
They don't ask for a license.
Yeah.
They don't ask for a license. I don't have to sign anything. They give me the keys,
Wow.
and I drive out of the showroom next to the
power.
Bernabeu
Yeah.
in like a $500,000 vehicle that I don't even know if it's registered, insured. I've got an expired New South Wales driver's license, and I'm driving the shit out of this around Spain.
Next to the Bernabeu?
Yeah, so
It's amazing, man. They say when you have, they say
like, but there's nothing you can't have. Like it's just
It's all
like
at your
but they
fingertips.
say when you can afford stuff, that's when you get stuff for free. Like, because David Beckham could buy any, but were people just trying to give him these cars? Like, just because if Beckham's driving that Ferrari?
because paparazzi follow you every day, so
it.
you're in every magazine in Europe.
That's
So
right.
yeah, so
give it to you.
yeah,
Free
they
marketing.
give it to you. You pay for absolutely nothing. Like it's
It's crazy.
man. One night, I won't mention the name of the player, right?
Okay,
But I'll just say that.
I'll guess.
Let's see if we can guess. I was just about to say.
So,
No.
like after about the third or fourth day, I got they bring us these tags. It's like VIP, like for the city of Madrid.
Okay.
So, but it allows you also access to the military air force base in Madrid, right? So you know how hard it is to get into a military installation.
Yeah.
Try it sometime, right?
No,
I've
I've done it on GTA. 5 stars straight away. 5-star warning.
So I've got these passes. And you go to this military, the Air Force base, Torrejon, where all the private jets come in, but also the military kind of jets. Right. And I get to the boom gates. These guys come out, they see the pass and they just go, boom.
Straight in.
Boom gate goes up. So me, I'm on the tarmac with a player. Okay.
Yeah.
And the deal is, there's 5 porn stars flying in from Los Angeles.
This is fantastic.
Yeah. But it's not. But it's not like. It's not like these are the top 5 ranked, man.
Okay, these are.
Yeah, this
These
is
are
ATP
We're
top
talking
5.
Football heritage.
Yeah.
Football
We're
heritage.
talking the Ronaldo Nazario of porn stars.
Yeah. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, man. Like
Yeah, they've retired since.
boom. Yeah.
Probably retired since. Okay.
Haven't checked Pornhub lately, but we'll probably have to
look.
as soon as I get home.
For research purposes.
For research
As soon as I get home tonight,
Yeah.
I'll flick you a message.
Let me know who it was.
All right.
Who it was. All right. Amazing.
Yeah, so things like that, and it's like,
must be Brazilian.
what's the deal? I said, no, there's no deal.
Everything at your fingertips.
Everything. There's nothing you could not
Wow.
have, and that in itself is a curse.
Yeah.
Can be, definitely.
You know, so
How do you not spiral at that level?
Yes.
you know, so it it's a little bit different if I had, for example, been playing.
You would be
yeah, but you know.
Well, you speak quite openly, and we really admire you about that. Now we've seen your feature with Lad Bible, and also you go and you visit, and that's part of you being able to now be able to coach the next generation of players to not go down that path. You walked off that path that you want to be on as a human being, right? Was that around this time?
I after football, to be honest with you, I'm not proud that I became a cocaine addict and a crack cocaine addict.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud now that I managed to conquer that, because most people that get onto crack cocaine are either dead or brain dead.
Yeah.
Well, can you actually tell me the difference? Because I was talking to the boys before. What is the difference between crack cocaine and normal cocaine?
You just cook it up. You cook up the cocaine with sodium bicarbonate, so it gives you a real pure form, and you cook it up and it turns into a little gel that hardens, and then you put it into the gauze and you light it up and you smoke it and you blow your head, and you blow your head off for about 5 minutes, and then you want the next rock and you put another rock in and you blow your head off for another 5 minutes.
So that is considerably worse.
Oh, that crack cocaine has destroyed many neighbourhoods in the United States and the world. It's one of the most destructive things that you could ever take. But it's probably also the greatest thing that you could ever take. So you work it out and do the math. Do you take it? Do you not take it? But I went from not even drinking. I had a football career that I didn't touch anything, and that allowed me to achieve things that I achieved. And just I remember being in the SFX office in Sydney, and I no longer played football. And, you see all the movies and stuff like that. And I'd never done cocaine. So one of the guys in there says, "Mate, do you want a line?" He goes, "Tom Cruise is calling us in a minute." He's I go, "Tom Cruise, Top Gun?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Let's do a line of cocaine and we'll talk to the Top Gun." So
Highway to the danger zone.
yeah,
That's it.
there you go.
Yeah.
So do that. But I remember these words. He said, "You got to really be careful, kid, because someone like you, excessive compulsive
0
with
to
football,
100.
with this, with that, this could kill you if you get addicted to it." And we did it. Tom Cruise calls. I'm fucking flying that high, man. I'm buzzing Sydney Tower, the whole lot, mate. Mavericks on the phone on Mavericks on loudspeaker, and I'm fucking flying, man. I'm buzzing Sydney Tower, mate. Yep.
Yeah.
And it was in the end, it was a flight I shouldn't have got on. But, but it was
We learn.
You know what? I shouldn't be here. That's the reality.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that world takes you to real dark places. mentally and physically. You know, there's dangerous places, you know, in the acquiring of it, in the taking of it.
Yeah. There's levels to it.
Yeah, you know, I caught up Waverley Police Station one day. I thought my house was surrounded by gunmen. You know, when you call up police station, call up a police station, and you know, in Waverley, you know, I'm 500 metres up the road is the police station, and you call them up and you say you're surrounded by gunmen.
Yeah.
They send SWAT, target response. So within 5 minutes, like.
There was nothing, you were hallucinating this whole thing.
There was nothing there. It was psychotic.
I
It
didn't
was
even
just,
know cocaine could do that.
yeah, I hadn't slept for like 10 days. So all I could see was gunmen outside the house.
Oh
So I called up
my
police station. Go,
God.
yeah, they're everywhere.
That is
They
so
sent
scary.
Maroubra target response. I'm talking tanks, helicopter above the house. And I'm going, fuck.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you realised you
Then-
came to your senses.
No, I kind of, I hadn't slept for,
So you were in like a psychosis.
yeah, I hadn't slept for 10 days. Hairs everywhere, mate. I'm Slendy Kravitz, mate. I'd no shirt. I'm walking around. So anyway, they turn up, SWAT, you know, guys who's, you know, the whole lot. Okay, it's proper SWAT. Okay, 50, 60 of them, the helicopter above, the tank, the whole lot. Anyway, they talk to the two detectives and they clear the place. They leave. Two detectives knock on my door. I open the door and they see a poster of me like playing for, I think it was Reading or Socceroos or something, and one of them says, Andy, come outside. They knew me for life.
Yeah.
I hadn't been in a lot of trouble, but I'd had a few run-ins up the road.
Yeah.
And,
And nights there in a cell. Just
yeah, had a
where
few
that
run-ins up
happens.
the
It
road.
happens to the best of us.
And Andy come out here, and one of them grabbed me by the throat,
Yeah.
and he said, "You're too good for this." You know, like he said, "Man, like you can't be doing this. You're actually too good. You know, you're going to kill yourself, kid." And then he said, "If you put your hand up, I'll help you." And so I said, "Yeah." And then he said, "So what's?" I said, "But you can't take me up the road to the police station and lock me up." Because he goes, "Why not?" I go, I'm going to Colombia next week. This is like the two detectives like in Waverley Police Station, and one of them goes,
But that was for work, right?
one of them goes, "You going fucking where?"
Cocaine.
Yeah. Like, you're off your chops on cocaine, right? Haven't slept in 10 days, and I'm telling you I'm going to Colombia.
Yeah.
You can't lock me up. And he goes, "What the hell are you going to do in Colombia, mate? What's going on?"
Yeah.
I go, "I'm chief scout for the Socceroos." 2006 World Cup qualifying campaign.
Whose decision was that?
To not lock
you.
me up or to send me.
To send
Bit
you.
of both at
To
this
send
point.
you. I mean, I'm really proud of the police force for not locking you up. That shows that
Yeah.
everyone really wanted to make
Compassion.
that World Cup.
Compassion.
That's what we had to all
But I'll
work
get back to
together.
that, because then instead of locking me up, they took me to the mental ward
Okay.
up at Prince of Wales, and I couldn't get out.
So same
Yes.
thing essentially. You got
Yeah,
locked
so
up.
when you're in there, like you start saying, well, you get psychiatrists and they're coming up and saying, what have you been doing, Andy? I've been looking after David Beckham's £300 million business in Madrid, and I'm an ex-Socceroo, and I've got to go to Colombia next week. And like
It sounds crazy.
Honestly, yeah.
no, they
Telling you Ronaldo had 10 Victoria's Secret models.
yeah.
like, cool,
one
bro,
of them,
wake
one of
up.
them came back and she said, "Do you know Posh?" Like,
Like as if, yeah.
yeah, I actually do. Just take her shopping and do this and do that. We just hang
They
out.
just think you're taking.
Yeah, they just go, "This guy's
Yeah.
like never to be released." Yeah, and the scary thing is, there's a lot of people in there
Who have real
that are actually nuts. Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
nuts.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so anyway, I got out. It was whose decision? It was Graham Arnold.
Okay.
And he consulted Gus Hiddink, and
Yeah.
they consulted obviously Frank Lowy, and
They didn't know
so-
about your addiction.
no.
Okay. Right.
So,
yeah. So you can't blame them for sending.
No,
you.
I can't blame
You
them.
can't
but,
blame them, but it was
geez,
just,
they
unfortunate.
paid for a good holiday.
So tell us then about
Oh,
Colombia.
the first.
So the rehab didn't start there yet.
No,
It's like, guys, BRB, rehab clinic, see
like
in a
it took
minute.
me 4 days to get out of the mental,
Okay.
out of the psych ward. Like, I went to get out after the first night.
That
after
doesn't shake you. That doesn't get you.
No, mate, after the first night, like, I'd kind of, the psychosis had gone.
Okay.
And you're like,
And I was
sweet.
good, yeah, so I go to walk out the door, and the security guard goes, "You can't leave, mate.
Yeah.
You're not." "What do you mean?" "I've got to go to Colombia." And he goes, "No, mate, you're not fit for society. Your folder's been marked.
Jeez, there's not
Not
many
fit for
more
society."
powerful statements than that.
Yeah, you can't go until
Did
you...
you thought you were done at that point?
Oh, nah.
No,
Because
you-
I visualise, like...
You
I visualise I'm going to get out of this.
prison break.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All of a
yeah,
sudden, the theme music.
Tattoos
started
all
playing.
over the back.
Yeah, it's like, as a kid, I visualised playing at Wembley. I visualised playing at the Bernal Stadium.
Yeah.
And I did it.
Manifesting.
Yeah.
So you kind of like, so I always kind of thought, no, I'll get out of this somehow. Like, and so yeah, I get out, and so on the weekend we travel and we get to Bogota. You know, it's heavy. You know, it's like Bogota's heavy.
Bogota's,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Proper
You know,
narcos.
but I'm looking around and we've got to go to Barranquilla, and they've put me in Barranquilla. This amazing hotel, you know, palm trees. Barranquilla is like Barranquilla and Cartagena is the Caribbean side of Colombia.
I heard it's beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
like boom, cigars,
Cigars.
happy days,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I land and I've got to go like watch Argentina, Colombia, this, that, Chile.
So, because
Colombia.
at this point we didn't know who we were going to play.
No.
So
Yeah,
you had
we
to
didn't
make
know.
sure you were watching
So-
everyone.
Had to watch everyone from Brazil to Colombia to
Bolivia,
Bolivia
Paraguay.
to Brazil.
What a
so you
job.
travel from there, but my base,
Yeah.
my base is
Barranquilla.
Colombia.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I'd met when I was with Beckham in Madrid. I met the big Carly and the
All
other
the head
cartels,
honchos.
you know, the head honchos, like in Madrid,
Right.
because the Colombians used Madrid as their base to
See.
distribute around the rest of it. So I
Right.
made a phone call. This kid turns up, like Sicario, man. Like he turns up and he goes, "What do you want?"
Right.
Like I go, "What do you got?"
Yeah.
Yeah, so he like goes like
Que
this. He had
tienes,
everything, mate.
hombre?
He had bricks, a whole lot, mate. Everything. Man. Yeah. A brick, $450, man. Like yeah.
Producer Shabs, yeah,
Hey,
he knows the market back there. Producer Shabs knows the market.
easy, Tiger. Yeah. So I'd been given some petty cash by the FA. Like,
Yeah.
I was got 2-3 grand in the pocket. Besides you know, them paying for everything, this and that. And he pulls out like a gram of pure white cocaine, like the best thing you've ever seen. It makes you wonder, like the amount of money I wasted on shit. Like
Yeah, this is pure,
I'm just thinking about
this is
how many deals I've tried to sell the FA, and they didn't know they were funding, they were paying for cocaine in Colombia this whole time.
This
And I'm trying to sell them for work. That's where their money went.
brilliant,
I'm trying to make content. Okay, yeah,
and it's gone to
it's gone there.
it's gone to.
It's good to know you had a good time though.
So he shows me this pure white rock, and it's like a gram, and I go, how much? He goes, $10 US. And I go,
Like, bargain.
his face when I said, give me 20. Like 20 grams.
Yeah.
Madre
Like,
mia.
like for $200.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest like deals you can ever make. And seriously. Like
I'm no mathematician.
no.
But that's a bargain.
That's a
like
bargain,
Wall
if you think about
Street,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's $200 US
Yeah.
for 20 grams
Yeah.
of pure white cocaine.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
The first line,
Yeah.
remember, I'm there to scout.
Yeah.
Socceroos, yes. But all I can think about is racking this up
Yeah.
and blowing my head off.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I rack this line up.
So you were high the whole time you were there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just went bang and I froze on the couch, man. Like that. It's like boom, and my body froze for about like 30 seconds to a minute. I couldn't move, but I'm like, it's carnival inside, but I
just can't move.
yeah, but I can't move, and I'm like going, man, how do I fucking get up? Like,
Oh my God.
and then this ocean breeze came through, like through the palm trees, and I'm like, well, after about a minute, I slowly start to get up, and it's boom, boom, boom,
Wow.
vamos.
What
Vamos, coño.
Yeah, and then the security guard that like the AFP and the Socceroos had got me. He took the liberty of ordering. He goes, Andy, in this part of Colombia, the speciality is to have one of these big snappers. Like you ordered me a big fucking fish. So I've had this line of cocaine, right? I'm frozen. I go down, and he's got me this snapper about this big. I couldn't eat it. Like I couldn't eat the thing. Like every like bit of snapper that I had, I'd have about 4 glasses of water, and I'm sweating. And this guy's looking at me, going, "Are you okay,
You all right?
Andy?
¿Estás
Andy,
bien,
¿estás
hombre?
bien,
¿Qué te
Andy?
pasa?
You're sweating, man." Yeah. So then in the end, I gave up. I said, fuck this act. I said, man, no me encuentro bien, man. El viaje, this and that. So went straight up and like, it was all playing possum. I was straight up, man. I couldn't wait to rack another one up.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
So
Then he goes, you want a girl?
You're like, hell yeah, man. I want
I
to
can
go.
get you a girl for 1 week. I wasn't married. Didn't have a girlfriend, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it was a girlfriend for 1
Said,
week.
no
man.
soy tonto, hombre.
Wow, so look, man, it's like
Hire a
first
girlfriend.
night in Colombia.
Yeah.
It's like in Colombia, Venezuela got all the Miss Worlds.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
it's every day.
Todos
So
son
you're
guapas.
talking 10 out of 10 for cocaine, and you're
did
talking
that
10 out of
first
10
time,
for girls. And I'm just like, I did a toast to the Socceroos.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. For
Cheers, boys.
Yeah. For when I played, when us early guys played, and you put us on all those shit, cattle class flights, and then and
You're
economy.
like, now I'm gonna get mine.
Now's payback.
Yeah, you got your money's worth. You obviously did something right because, hey, we went on to play Uruguay, so you would have had to study Uruguay while you were there.
Oh, I've got a funny Uruguay story.
Right, so you followed them, you watched their games, you put together a report for good sitting?
Put a dossier together,
Okay.
which was geographical,
Right.
it was climatic, it was logistical, everything. It was from, we knew, for example, that Colombia used to play in Bogota, which was at altitude.
Yeah.
Now they played in Barranquilla at 4:00 in the afternoon when the sun was beaming down, 80% humidity.
Okay.
So they tried to screw around with you. So you had to know everything.
Okay.
Everything.
Right.
Location of hotels, how far to this, training grounds, how good this was, how good that was.
Wow.
It was a. If you get that wrong, and then there was the only game, which is really funny, the only game that we didn't see live was against the team that we actually had to play in the end.
So you didn't see Uruguay? Oh, no.
You want to know the story?
Should we ask why?
What happened?
Yeah, no, nothing to do with cocaine, this one.
Okay.
So, we were all on cocaine. Yeah, but... So there was myself and Graham Arnold and a guy called Ron Smith. That we were all going into Uruguay. But for some reason there was a South American airline strike, whatever. So none of us from where we were in Colombia, Brazil, this and that, could get in to Uruguay.
Okay.
But I had a friend of mine, Daryl Mather, a really good friend of mine, who was also my boss at SFX Sports Group. He looked after all the rugby league clients, Billy Slater, Lockyer, all these guys, right? After his rugby league season finished, he liked to go into South America and do it. Anyway, we were going to meet in Montevideo, and I was going to go, man, I've got to go there and scout the match, come and watch it. So he was in Montevideo, right? And can't get there. I go to Ronnie Smith and I go, my mate's there. So I ring up Daryl, and Daryl likes Tottenham Hotspur. He loves, he's a fan.
Yeah.
But he's a rugby league agent. He doesn't know that much about football. I go, Daryl, your chief scout, Uruguay, and I forget who they were playing. Yeah. So in the end, the scouting report was for the match in South America that Uruguay played, the team that we beat to go to the World Cup was done by Australia's premier rugby league agent.
Wow. That is unbelievable.
How cool is that?
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
Was it written like a rugby league head?
Oh,
they packed the scrum. They packed the scrum with
no, because you got to be a couple of steps ahead.
Yeah.
In Uruguay and Argentina and Colombia, like in Spain, they have this newspaper called Marca.
Yeah.
Right. So the next day, everything that happens in the game, is in the paper.
Marca.
Minute, the corners,
So
the free kicks.
the FA think you were at that game. They thought you were at that game.
No, they knew we weren't at that game.
Okay,
I was going to say,
Yeah,
catch out of the bag.
I didn't. I said we got someone going.
Yeah.
Good.
But I didn't say like it's rugby league. Yeah. But I told him. I said, listen, the next day, just send me the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have all the information there.
It's everything, minute by minute, substitutions, the free kicks. There's experts in everything. The whole newspaper is the football newspaper.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like for every game that I did in South America, the next day I just kind of like copy and paste.
That's it.
Copy and paste, copy and paste, and just be off my chops on cocaine.
Honestly, you were living la vida loca.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
You have no idea. Like, I'm going to watch Chile, Colombia. Colombia, Chile. Do the biggest line of cocaine on the way to the game.
What's it like?
And you get there and you jump out and they've all these dogs. And
you're like, no.
Because like military dogs, they smell higher heart rates.
Right.
Yeah. So I jumped out of the cab at the Barranquilla Stadium where Colombia played, and I was like in the sky, Uzi machine guns. It's heavy Colombia. There's dogs locked onto me. German Shepherd as big as a bear.
Yeah.
What's it like watching a football game high on cocaine?
It's South America in itself is like a mad experience anyway. Just watching a football match there, but high on cocaine, like it's just everything is noise. Everything is like it's like And if you haven't slept for a day or two, it's like you're in a zoo.
Yeah.
And all I can hear is like fucking parrots,
Yeah.
wolves howling, lions roaring.
And you're writing these reports.
Yeah, it's just...
They bring wolves to the stadium.
Yeah, it's just...
They bring fucking parrots.
Parrots on the loose.
It's just... All I can hear is like loud, like South American Amazonian bird noises.
Right.
Like,
How is it?
not cockatoos and this, that, and it's just... and then like, all you can hear is lions, tigers.
The actual football game, like,
And
is
then-
it...
And I'm watching
these
it.
senses heightened?
Yeah, everything's fast.
They play quick.
Yeah,
They play quick. One-touch football.
Yeah, everything's fast.
Unbelievable.
Everything's fast, but you're never comfortable. You're never comteable because
You're always on edge.
at some point the cocaine's dying down, so you need to have another line. Well, you're going to do it in front of everybody?
Man.
Jesus.
I did it in front of everybody, right, at the qualifying game,
Which one?
the Socceroos.
Oh, against Uruguay. Here or there?
Yeah. At half time, I racked up.
Like,
in
in your seat, in the stand.
In my seat in the stand, yeah. You know when they have the half-time entertainment?
Oh, so everyone was distracted.
Yeah, like they get me tickets to go, right, after. So it's the Uruguay game. It's the big game.
Yeah,
I've done
I
all
was
the
at that
report,
game
this
too,
and
yeah,
that,
yeah.
And you think, they might kind of go, be down with the team, this and that.
Yeah, you're part of the staff.
Yeah. No, they sent me a couple of tickets.
Oh.
Sent me a couple of tickets, and I'm in a seat with 100 other, forgotten Socceroos.
Oh.
It's kind
Yeah,
of
it's shit.
and I'd worked for them, and I'd done this and that, and I just thought. So I had that ticket plus one. So at the time, I got the biggest cocaine dealer in the eastern suburbs to come with me. On the way up
Obviously.
Parramatta Road, we put a bet on Bresciano. I think he was paying $9, mate. He put $5,000 on, $45,000 after the game. Boom.
There you go.
See you
Happy
later.
days.
Yeah.
Gambling is wrong as well as
Yeah.
cocaine. Everyone watching back
We
home,
just
we're going to
need a
get to that.
preface.
Yeah, so the madness of it, we're watching this game, and at half time, I kind of, when you feel like a forgotten Socceroo, because I don't think we do our history well,
Left a bit of
I
taste.
I wanted the boys to win, but I didn't really want to be there, so at half time I just thought, I got a CD out, and not
fuck
CD
it.
out, we got out the guys, we did a couple of lines, and the half time entertainment was going there,
Wow.
and then it came to penalties,
Yeah.
and I walked out.
You didn't watch them?
No,
Man.
it's just the whole world, all of Australia's
Comes
watching.
to that moment and you leave.
Yeah, I'm me and I'll call my mate Elkin Soto.
Hey,
yeah. We're leaving. Two people leaving at the time. ANZ Stadium. There's a penalty shootout, and people go to me, "You left before the penalty shootout?" Yeah, man. By the time Aloisi scored, mate, I was near the cross, ready to go.
That was back when the cross was the cross.
Yeah.
It's just
So the madness of it all,
Yeah.
but it's they're funny stories that I still relate to a lot of the players.
Yeah.
That, but they're sad in a way too.
Yeah, there's dark
because
times.
it's not it's a path that it's not, it doesn't have happy ending. It leads to a lot of darkness and
we
people die and
we can
Yeah.
laugh about the highs. We can
Yeah,
laugh
yeah,
about
yeah,
these funny
yeah,
moments
yeah,
because they make for great telling and storytelling.
Yeah.
And we know, we've spoken as well off camera, but we know that really rooted in all of this, majority is actually negativity. Majority is dark
Yes.
place. At what point did you get rid of it?
People ask me how I gave up,
Yeah.
and I can't tell you.
Really?
I didn't go to any rehab.
Was it like a flick of the switch?
Yeah, it just it was part of. At one point, the initial bit was leaving Sydney and going back to Canberra, where I grew up.
Yeah.
Going home.
Yeah, going home and just kind of, I woke up one day in Bondi Junction, Waverley, and 200 people I knew in Sydney, were all either doing cocaine, selling cocaine, around cocaine. So it was just madness. It was like everyone in my life was in that. It's hard to get away from it all. An arrest in Reading, and then there was a lot of stuff. I became a victim of I was a victim of the world's, the UK and arguably the world's greatest hacking
The
scandal.
hacking scandal. I've heard about that. Yeah.
Followed me for 5 years, and they opened my voicemails and all
Man.
that sort of stuff. So, and then I met my wife, my now wife, who really, in the book, she. How Anthony Kiedis would go to hotel rooms and just try and kill himself, and all the band members would chase him, and that's what Janie did for me. So so you meet people in life, and but I was just you know what? I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, there's like you just for 10 years in Sydney, I like it here was noises like, you know, 4 or 5 in the morning, you're chasing shit again, you're chasing drugs again, and it's like, and you hear the noises, birds and this and that, and now I hear the birds at 4 or 5 in the morning, and it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It's
Because I'm not chasing, I'm at peace
Yeah.
with the world. But more importantly, it's you, and then you get a little bit older and you start thinking like, you know, I achieved a lot of first guy to captain an English football club, and you know, first one to play in
First in La
Spain,
Liga,
and you know,
yeah.
and you know what, I wasn't the greatest Socceroo, I wasn't the worst, but there was a lot of first achievements, which is pioneering.
That's right.
And I wanted to leave a little bit of a legacy. Not if it wasn't for me, you know, for my wife, for my parents, my daughter, you know, you want to leave them with something nice, not all the shit.
Yeah.
And so I feel really good now. I feel probably the happiest I've ever, you know, been in my life. You know, I wake up, I can't wait to go to training. You know, I go to rehab centres.
Yeah.
You know, I go to Salvation Army, the Glen Rehab up there. I help kids in the PCYC that come from less fortunate places than
Love that.
than we are at, and you know, from broken families, parents going to jail, the whole lot. So for me, the high that gives me, the joy that gives me is equivalent or far greater than at times than anything I achieved in football. You know, to be able to touch people in a certain way that you give them hope.
Yeah.
You know, there's you know, and you know, my story is, you know, I should be dead. You know, because there's places that you know, you, like I said before, in the acquiring and the taking of crack cocaine that are, you know, pretty deadly, man.
Yeah.
And somehow I survived it all.
This is the reason, right? So
Yeah,
that you can do this.
yeah, and there's a reason. And you know, I talked to 40, 50 guys at the Glen, you know, this indigenous kind of rehab place in Chittaway Bay, near where I live, and I go nearly every day. I go to the gym and just work out with them, and it's kind of my piece as well.
Yeah.
But I talk to them and I say, look, you know, anything you've done, you know, like, because at first they think, man, they just kind of know, it's Andy, ex-Socceroo, now vibe manager, athletic development
They don't
coach at
think
the
you can
Mariners
relate
or
to
whatever.
them, right?
Yeah, and they think, and then you start saying, like, you know, I know a lot of you guys have an alcohol addiction. I just want you to know that I went to crack cocaine addiction. And I should be dead, but I'm here, and I'm now in this role, you know, and my wife's here, and we've moved up to the coast, and you can almost see like this kind of, they, you know, hopefully it shows them that there's still light and still hope.
Yeah.
You can always get out.
Well, that's
Yeah,
right.
so-
now you're the light
Yeah,
for so many.
so
which is
we've had a
powerful.
laugh, and you know, they're fantastic stories.
Yeah.
You know, whoever decides to turn it into a film one day, it'd be a magnificent.
Oh, it'd be the second
be
Wolf of
ma-
Wall
Who
Street.
would play you?
I don't know. You guys come up with that.
We're gonna get some old photos.
Yeah,
of
a
you.
younger Andy B.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know, but it would really be a fascinating story, and you can you have a little bit of license when you do movies, so you can
Yeah.
add a lot.
Have
But
fun
but
with
it's the Wolf of Wall Street, it's Jerry Maguire, it's James Bond, it's you know. It's been a roller coaster life, but you know, sometimes now I kind of wouldn't swap it for anything. There were times where, you know, you don't want to be on the planet anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad, you know, I'm back in the A-League now.
Yeah.
I see ex-Socceroos, and they're kind of like, whoa,
Yeah.
you're still alive, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what are you doing here? I'm back to make your life a nightmare.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's back.
Yeah,
He's
This
back.
is
but-
all part of your legacy.
Exactly.
All of
Yeah,
it.
so
every
so
part of
that's
it.
yeah, it's
Incredible.
been a pretty cool ride, you know, and now hopefully we do another book, and you know, the most important thing is you know, for young kids out there and footballers, girls, boys, whatever, you know, I found a real lot of peace, you know, when I lay all the cards on the table and I wrote my book, and I'm not embarrassed
Now everyone knows.
or ashamed to say this is what happened to me. You know, there's no elephant in the room.
Yeah, and no one can hold anything over
No,
you either.
it's this is Andy. You know,
Yeah.
if you like Andy, cool. If you don't like Andy, well, you know, it's
so
cool.
much respect for that.
Yeah, it's cool too. You know, and you know, being on the couch with you guys, and you know, being invited here, and you know, I love what you guys are doing. giving football a lot more exposure, but also in a way I feel blessed because, as soon as I walked in the door, it's kind of like you guys wanted to embrace, the history of football in this country too. And a lot of us, I talked to some of my academy players, and I went to the AIS with Frank Farina. He was of Italian background. I was of Spanish background. I became the first one to play in Spain. Frank Farina became the first to play in Serie A in Italy.
Yeah.
And nobody knows.
Yeah, they don't know these things.
They don't even know who Frank Farina is. Most of these young kids,
Education piece.
So it's we got to know our history if we want to be a great football nation one day, and we're getting better and better. But
because that way, when you put that green and gold on, you know what you represent.
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
And
you know exactly how many people have sweated for this before.
And you can't go anywhere if you don't know where you've been or where you are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, incredible. I mean, it's an incredible story, Andy, and we could talk forever about your life stories, even just outside of football. But before I do let you go, being born offside, being a football pod, we've mentioned lots of things now. You've played in the NSL. You're now very much involved in the A-League. We've mentioned everything from transfers to not enough good players to the FA and to all these things. If you could click your fingers and change 3 things about the local game, 3 things. Can be as small as suburban stadiums. It can be as big as a transfer system, whatever. What are the 3 things you want to see changing in the next 10 years in this game?
3 things within the A-League?
Australian football in general. Doesn't necessarily have to be the A-League.
Transfer fees.
Yeah.
So, for example, if Melbourne City, who are backed by the City Group, want one of our players, you have to pay $10 million.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna develop him for 10 years.
Because right now,
and
a
then you're
player
gonna take
can
over.
just kind of terminate the contract and go.
Yeah. And there's a minimal compensation for if. Do you know what I mean? So the City Group that's backed by the City,
You can't
Yeah,
compete with them.
exactly.
Yeah.
don't come and steal our players.
Yeah.
And
It's
if
gotta
you
be
want
fair.
him, it's I think the relegation, the relegation and promotion is real important, but that's a real difficult one.
Difficult, isn't it?
In the system that we have here. I also, because we are proof of it. For many years, I was outside of football, looking in, and I just always felt, if we're going to be a greater national team and develop more players that can then go and play overseas, have a rule where you've got to have 5 under 23 players.
Yeah. Okay.
Every A-League team
Has to play young players.
Five of them have to be
new players is what
5 of them have to be under 23 players, and you know how many young players I see at some of the clubs that are good players that are never given wings, never empowered, never. And I love the fact. I still talk to Timmy Cahill a lot, and there's nothing greater than grabbing a kid and you go and be fearless.
Yeah.
Go be fearless. There's your wings, man. Go and what if you make a mistake? So what? Go and win the ball back. Do this, do that. It's a great thing. Anything else that I would change?
You haven't mentioned anything about the AIS, even though you're an AIS product. You don't think that we miss the AIS? Have A-League academies now gotten to a level that we don't require the AIS?
They're starting to.
Okay.
I think the past 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. I think there was a few Dutch, not all of them, but I think there's a few Dutch and
Frauds.
and Belgian frauds that came here and destroyed our system for a while. And people like myself, were shut out.
Yeah.
Whether sometimes for me it was self-sabotaged, and the rumours that people hear or whatever, and then don't touch Andy, or in many cases as well, people that are insecure that want to look after and protect their jobs.
Everywhere.
But the AIS was a very special place. It was a kind of the home of a lot of the golden generation.
Yep.
Mark Viduka, etc. I was in the first batch that came through with Frank Farina. But we had when we were at the AIS, we also toured Europe a lot, and that's how we ended up in a final of European football against Real Madrid. Del Bosque was the coach, and he saw me, and so there was more
like that.
there was more exposure. And for young kids, when you're 18 and you're from Canberra and you've never left Canberra and you're at the AIS, you don't play a tournament in Dortmund and you play against Real Madrid. Guys that we didn't have like phones, or there wasn't a lot of TV exposure then. And man, you play against Real Madrid. It's like going to Europe when I was a kid was like going to the moon.
Yeah.
And seriously, like
unheard of.
It's like, you know, the Leeds United poster. You know, from a shoot magazine that I couldn't afford, that I stole from the local news agency. You know, this poster up. You know, this is 1974, 75. You know, it's like. Honestly, it was like going to the moon. Wow. Spain was like going to the moon, and you went there. I couldn't text my mum and dad when I got there.
Yeah,
you had to be a man. You had no choice.
Yeah, you know,
to grow up.
That was that's another story. You know,
incredible.
I write that in the book, but I think there's not only myself, but there's a lot of other Socceroos of my era that in some capacity could be fit into our game, into our game somehow.
Rather than going and throwing money at people who maybe are rejects in their country overseas, let's
and also I think, you know what, I think we're trying to get a little bit better now that the PFA reps are going good, and the FA, and you know, I have a laugh at the FA's expense there and this and that, but it's you know what, it was what it was, and hopefully my experience can be a learning curve for them as well, and because you know, during my dark days, you know, you know, if someone had from the FA, you know, had called and said, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, maybe that would have stopped it.
Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah.
Very true.
You know, so little things like that, you know, from the PFA, you know, they're trying to do it good now. We've got a good rep that comes to our club, and you know, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm not whinging about it. It's what it is. You know, I think some of us are pioneers, you know, and now these new cats are, you know. They're getting well paid and they're living good lives and you know, because of what we did. So if that helps them, then I'm happy to have been a pioneer.
Brilliant. Well, it's an amazing story, and I'm happy that you found so much peace as well, and that you're enjoying your role now at the Mariners. Can't wait for this final series. I really do. I mean, I try and remain neutral, but the story of the Central Coast Mariners, and their youth development and those players, I really do hope you guys go all the way and win that. It means so much.
You know,
to
we believe if we've got our, you know, best 14, 15 available. With all due respect to all the other sides, we don't fear anyone. We respect everybody. You know, we're going to go out there to win, and we'll play that way. And whatever happens. You know, time will tell us all. You know what happens, but we're confident.
Brilliant. Best of luck with it, Dani. Thanks so much for joining me on this incredible storytelling.
Thanks, Dani.
Muchísimas gracias por todo, ¿eh?
Estoy muy encantado de haber estado aquí con vosotros y un placer.
The pleasure was all ours. The pleasure was absolutely all ours. Thanks so much, Mandy. And just as much as we'll be looking for V2 of this book, we'll be hoping for a V2 of you on the Born Offside.
Beautiful.
Catch as well to catch up.
Thank you.
I think there's plenty more stories. Thanks, mate.
Thank you very much.
Love it. Thank you. Ciao.